Okay, hey everybody, I'm Jason.
I'm Paul.
I'm Troy.
Jamie.
All right, and we're doing the Squared Circle podcast. It's been a while since we've done this, but it's WrestleMania season, so we thought it'd be the best time to do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna start with the NXT pay-per-view. I'm gonna throw it to Troy because I'm gonna be honest, and I did not see it.
It wasn't the best takeover we've had with a pretty weak build-up, but it was NXT Takeover San Antonio, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The part of the match I cared the most about was actually the tag title match between DIY and the Authors of Pain. But I will say the first match was really good. It was the Perfect 10 Ty Dillinger versus Eric Young. And this was the first time I've ever seen Sanity's entrance, because I don't watch NXT regularly. I just watch TakeOver now.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Sanity, but I haven't seen anything.
To me, the entrance was like a combination of like the Wyatts meet the Shield.
Really?
It was really cool.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe them. And the thing is, though, we'll cover this probably later. The best person in that stable to me, is Nikki Cross, the girl in the stable.
I was gonna say Killian Dane, but Nikki Cross is really good too.
Yeah.
But it was a good match. Great way to get the crowd hyped. I was surprised Dillinger lost. Kind of hoping he'd win and work his way up to contention, probably to the next takeover. But
I think this is going to be his farewell match. I hate to see somebody with his talent go out on a loss, but that's kind of the NXT way, is because, not a surprise, he showed up at the Rumble, and also no surprise, number 10.
Yeah, which was really cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
When he came out as number 10, it was like the only fan service, and we'll get to that later.
Well, yeah.
That's like the only fan service in the fucking Rumble.
But that match was really good. I like how it took three different guys between Eric Young, Wolf, and Dane to put down Ty Dillinger, basically. So he looked strong in defeat, which was good.
Yeah, it made Dillinger look strong.
Absolutely. And he's super over with the crowd. I hope he gets drafted to SmackDown, because I don't think Raw would be best place for him right now.
Yeah. Oh, Ty?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's exciting.
Yeah, SmackDown would do something better, especially against guys like Miz.
And he's so over with the crowd. I pretty much expect wherever he goes, he's going to be thrust to the mid card pretty quickly.
Yes.
Most likely either contending for the Intercontinental or U.S. Championships, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see him as a main event guy, at least not as of right now. Maybe next year or so. But he'd do really good in either of the mid cards. And hopefully, sooner or later, we have more defined mid cards in the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
But the second match of the takeover was Roderick Strong, who I've never really been too high on. To me, he's kind of like a creator wrestler you see in a video game.
Yeah.
Against Andrade Cien Almas, who I learned recently was the founding member of Los Ingobernables, the Mexican stable which branched out into New Japan. But that was a very hard-hitting, fast-paced match, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So the one because I've been wanting to see the Authors of Pain for a while.
They're really good,
and then I saw that they beat DIY, but there's not the one guy. What was that one tag team that came in? They were like the hell were they called?
TM61.
TM61. Yeah.
One of the guys, Shane Thorne, got injured.
Yeah, he hurt his knee, right?
Yeah, had like a leg injury. But
so they have Paul Ellering. Yeah, Paul Ellering, right? That's their.
That tag team title match proved to me that Gargano and Ciampa can carry pretty much anybody to a good match.
Yeah, I haven't been sold on Authors of Pain yet. They're just two big dudes. I mean, they're physically imposing, but I just haven't seen too much from them that impressed me that much. But they're not bad. And I like seeing Paul Ellering back in everything. He was been a great manager through the years, and it's good to see him again.
All right. So what? God. So looking at the women's division in NXT, though, it's like.
But just want to add one more thing in the Authors of Pain, though. The way that they broke out of the double submission, that was pretty badass.
It was pretty awesome. Like Akeem or Razor, I don't know which one's which, but they actually. I think he picked up Gargano and slammed him on Ciampa.
Oh Jesus!
While he was in a submission.
Pretty badass.
Awesome. Jesus. So how's the women's division looking without anybody other than Asuka?
Pretty weak.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Ember Moon, who's probably going to be the next contender.
I was going to say, because I liked Ember Moon. That corkscrew stunner that she does.
I don't like the finisher.
It's so amazing.
To me, it's too contrived.
You're insane. Fucking, what's her name? Billie Kay takes it. When Billie Kay took it that first time they fought, I was just like, okay. No, I really like her finisher.
But
I like Asuka though,
Asuka's good.
or
Yeah.
Asuka. But
I actually I fell asleep during this match.
it was the shortest match.
Well, I also started this at like midnight after work.
Uh,
So I woke up after I heard Nakamura's violins. I'm like, oh, okay. It's
yeah.
main event time.
And then 30
Yeah.
minute 30-minute match with him and
Yeah.
Bob.
Well, I
So-
rewound. I saw that Nikki Cross got put through a table and stuff.
Right.
So,
And I
but-
thought every time that Asuka and Nikki were together in the match, I thought it was pretty good because, like I said, I think Nikki is the strongest person in that stable. And it's kind of weird to say that because it's a woman wrestler, but she's really good, I think. And I talked to Jason about this before. There was something that bothered me in that match a lot, and it was between Billy and Peyton. They made us think they held the idiot stick there because this was a fatal four-way, and they show in the match that they really didn't care who won the championship as long as one of them won it.
right. That's what I heard. I heard that. Why don't they just pin each other then?
Why don't they just pin each other and then they steal the title away? That was kind of it's like, well, we know the rules. They know the rules.
Yeah, I mean
But
they're
they kept trying to pin Asuka. It's like just pin one another and one of you get the belt.
right. Because whoever gets the pin's the champion.
I think that's.
Yeah.
I think there's actually it's like 99 or 2000. The New Age Outlaws did that loophole in the tag title match. It's like a triple threat. Road Dogg pinned Billy Gunn.
Oh,
Music and
right.
tag titles. They're like,
Right.
whatever. Why didn't they just do that here?
Yeah, it was just weird. I was like, it's like, why do they keep trying to pin Asuka? If they don't care which one of them gets it, just pin the other one and steal the belt.
Exactly. But yeah, I think the women's division is pretty weak right now. I mean, you have Asuka, you have Ember Moon, pretty much the top two contenders.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
have,
I
Liv
think
Morgan.
WWE kind of cherry picked them a little bit too much. I mean, they picked all the great talent and they're just having to rebuild that division right now.
yeah, oh exactly. Well, I heard they just signed like 6 new women, so hopefully they can rebuild it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Asuka is going to get called up after WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's got to be plenty of good women wrestlers that are out on the indie circuit.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of them. It's just,
That WWE never looked at before because they've been
I had no need to.
they didn't care.
Yeah, well now the WWE's just like they're casting it everywhere. They're like, oh, there's wrestlers, we're taking them.
Yep.
It's like NXT's trying to become developmental and also king of the indies at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which sucks because you need a TNA or you need ROH to get bigger.
Right.
You need a WCW.
But
They
you also
really need
NXT in
WCW.
general is it's good, but it doesn't build new stars.
You're right.
It just
Yeah.
takes already established stars and puts them on a bigger scale.
Right. Or it makes them better,
Right.
and then it just farms them out, so they're not getting better themselves. You know
They're
what I
not
mean?
going
Like
to anyone else.
you're like, oh,
Exactly.
Finn Balor's the
So-
best wrestler in NXT. Raw. Oh, Samoa Joe's the best wrestler in NXT. Raw.
Yeah.
When Nakamura, they finally get their use out of Nakamura, which will
Put
be
him on-
soon because Bobby Roode's the champion,
Right.
and he'll stay the champion.
Yeah. But it's like if you look at the former NXT champions, I believe only 2 of them are indie darlings. And that's Bo Dallas and Big E.
Right. Well, see the thing. After Nakamura leaves, who do you got
Yep. You got Rude. You
But
can have
who?
Eric Young.
for in the world title scene?
Sure.
And then that's it.
You could build up. Yeah.
When Nakamura's gone, they did the same thing. Like he mentioned with the women's division, they poached this. They just took Joe.
It's
like,
true.
where do you go? Joe would have been a great feud for Rude because Rude's a bad guy, but P's still over. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then having
Mhm.
a guy like Joe fight him would have gave him more legitimacy if he beat Nakamura and Joe.
Well, we do have Chris Hero who just returned as
Yeah,
Cassius
that's what I was
Ohno.
going to say. He's coming, and I'm
Yeah.
sure they're going to thrust him to the World
Right.
Championship.
'Cause again,
But he's another
How many
indie
of them are?
darling. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? But
But who
I
else do
mean,
you have?
but I mean that's what I'm saying though. Like to like the, and I guess NXT is like the indie darling show,
Yeah.
but it's
But then you have guys like No
They
Way
just-
Jose and Andre Almas who are good, but they're not
Yeah, but
quite
you don't
main
want to
event.
even
You know, are they worthy enough to feud with Rude over the title?
So as you said before we even got to the match, yeah, Rude did defeat Nakamura. I didn't see the match. I really want to though.
It was a great match.
It
It's
was
a
a
great,
really good match.
Yeah,
great way for Nakamura to lose it.
yeah. How did it go? How did the
Injured
ending?
He injured his knee.
Uh-huh.
He was on the apron doing like a Kinshasa. off the apron to the outside doing a Kinshasa.
Oh, of course. That's
And-
just
Yeah, and his knee landed on the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, as every commentator will tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rude just exploited it, hit the
Every wrestler will tell you that too.
yeah. But
Oh, your knee?
No, the apron.
The apron of the ring.
Oh, the apron's the worst thing in the fucking world.
Yeah, but
Well, the worst part of the ring is the outside.
That's kind of the apron, though.
No, I mean the floor.
But Rude won it, and I don't see him losing it for at least a little while.
Yeah, till their
No,
WrestleMania
Even
style
then,
pay-per-view past it. Yeah, you
Probably
think through
past
the
it.
summer.
yeah, and that goes back to what you were saying about NXT. Is it takes people from the other smaller wrestling companies and makes them bigger. I mean, I was a big Bobby Roode fan at TNA.
oh yeah,
But he is just killing it in NXT, and I love his current character. It just fits him so well, I think.
yeah, I agree. But I also think like the whole like glorious gimmick, like he didn't need that. Like he could have gotten over without that. I think that could have been given to someone who might have needed a little more of a push, like an unknown guy.
Yeah, because he doesn't own it as much as you would, as somebody could. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's like a Ric Flair, like a new Ric Flair kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
thing.
Which
you know
I
what
mean, he does it well.
Right,
But I
but
think
there's
he didn't
somebody else that
necessarily
could have.
need it.
Yeah, you could have given
No, I
somebody to
agree.
help
He
him.
doesn't need it, but he does a really good job.
It did, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you have Bobby Roode as your new NXT champion, and then Nakamura will probably come up on the Raw after WrestleMania, and
Well, maybe before.
maybe yeah, but they like to do that. They like to bring in their people right after.
Well, I hope he either has a match at the NXT Takeover or WrestleMania, one of the two.
Yeah,
He deserves.
yeah, he'll probably have his title, his rematch at their NXT Takeover, right? And
That
then
should be
he'll
his
lose,
last.
and then he'll right.
That'd be like it'd be 1 year in NXT.
Yeah, and then he's good.
And that's pretty much par for the course for the careers there right now.
Yeah, because you got to
That's-
think the guy that he fought in a title match before he came to WWE debuted at the Royal
Was
Rumble.
AJ Styles.
Yeah, he debuted at the
Mhm.
Royal Rumble, and then Nakamura,
Went to NXT.
right? Nakamura went to NXT. Yeah, and he was, which I'm glad he did, because him and Sami Zayn had one of the best
Yeah,
matches of all
and I'm
time.
glad AJ didn't go to NXT because he didn't need it.
He wouldn't do it anyway. He'd be like, because I've even heard interviews. He's like, no offense to NXT. He's like, but I would
Sorry,
never
man.
do it.
Not wrestling in
Yeah.
armor again.
Yeah.
And just as a personal note, I was at the personally when AJ Styles debuted. I have never heard a cheer like that ever. I mean, I thought the roof was going to come off that place.
Yeah, I was there live even before the show even started. There was like 3 different AJ Styles chants, so
Yeah.
we were ready for him whether
Right.
it was going to happen or not.
Well, if you watch the video, you can see Roman Reigns kind of looking like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And then the crowd goes crazy, but you don't know what it is.
Right.
And then,
'Cause good job, cameraman.
right, yeah, because it's like,
Yeah.
hey, skip the I am phenomenal, you fucking
Yeah, 'cause
idiot.
we saw that in Titro. We're like,
Yeah.
hi, and we're like, what's happening? As soon as we saw the word phenomenal, the roof just
Yeah, because you can hear the crowd, but it's on
Exploded.
Roman Reigns' face.
Yeah.
That's the only time you should show the crowd or the fucking thing
The
that
Titan
says
drop.
phenomenal. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of the Rumble, we're going to move into that. We're going to kind of...
I didn't watch the pre-show, just FYI.
okay, so we're going to
So-
quickly gloss over some of this
You
stuff.
mean you missed everything that was good in the Rumble? It was all in the pre-show.
So the 5, yeah, when they said the Rumble pre-show starts at 5, I was like, no, it does not, because I'm not watching the Rumble, because we had a problem with the feed,
Okay.
because apparently Royal Rumble, WWE Network had one of their highest subscription
Yes.
rates like ever
Mhm.
for the Royal
Well,
Rumble.
it's the Rumble.
So what happened is it crashed their network.
Of course it
So
did.
I started watching the Rumble about 30 minutes later. I started
Okay.
about 7:30.
Okay.
And then, which I thought was good, because then I can kind of catch up. If I wanted to skip any dumb promos, I could just skip them.
Right, yeah.
But at the time that they were having problems and posting about it on Twitter, dude, I had to restart it like 10 times.
Really?
I had to
Ours was
switch.
fine.
I had to switch off my PS4 and go onto the PC, and then I kept having issues. So I'm kind of glad I didn't watch the pre-show. The first match they had was the Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, Naomi versus Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya, which is awesome that Mickie James is
Yeah, I'm
back.
glad Mickie James is back.
I think it's a waste of a champion. 6 men or 6 women tags. If there's not a 6-woman tag, there's going to be a 6-man cruiserweight
Yeah.
tag,
And
and it makes me
Mhm.
fucking crazy.
I disagree with the finish because, like we talked about before we started, the champion should never be pinned in a non-title match.
Never.
Which
Never.
is what happened.
What do you think of that, Jamie?
It looks like they're trying to push Naomi right now a little bit because I think she's got 2 pins over.
2,
Yeah.
but
Bliss
no.
now?
What do you think about a champion losing in
I
a
don't-
non-title match?
I very rarely should a champion lose in a non-title match.
Right.
I think it looks weak as a champion. I don't like when they book champion versus champion kind of stuff either.
Right.
Because like they did that for a long time. They would put the world champion against the intercontinental champion, and they would make the intercontinental champion lose,
Right.
or the world champion lose. And I just think it makes the champion look weak to lose
Exactly.
non-title.
Yeah,
matches.
the only time I think that was ever good is when you had Hulk Hogan in the Ultimate Warrior, because
Yeah.
I mean, Ultimate Warrior being Hulk Hogan, it's like taking the mantle. He was the IC champion, and it's Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it works when it's good story, but
Right.
just to have it at random.
Just a
Yeah, I
random
don't
Raw
like
is just
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
and I mean, I'm actually kind of like Alexa Bliss. She's not my favorite women wrestler by any means, but I kind of like her. And for her to lose like that just makes her show that she's a weak champion.
Exactly.
To me, a good champion is, I believe Jim Ross put it, is a beatable champion, but doesn't lose.
Right.
It's like Ric
Like-
Flair.
Like Kevin
Like
Owens
Flair.
should be.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Owens is a pussy.
One of the ones that he was very high on was Seth Rollins. Is he thought Seth Rollins was great because he's a beatable champion. He does, and the thing with Rollins, he didn't always cheat. I mean, he did when they were doing the JJ security thing,
Right.
but for a long time, it's like Rollins really didn't cheat. He was getting clean wins, but he made it look like he could be beaten, and that's
It's
a
just the
really
speaker
good
goes
champion, especially for a heel. Is you
Yeah.
want the heel to look like he can be beaten, but somehow
Just speaker goes up.
he wins. So.
Yeah, like he wasn't booked as like an unstoppable monster like Brock Lesnar, but he also wasn't booked as like someone who loses all their non-title matches.
Right. Right.
Right, exactly. He was a strong champion. I liked Rollins as a champion.
Right. I think any sort of champion, if they're in a non-title match, if they are gonna lose, it should be by like kind of disqualification, some shenanigans.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Or you have a fucking 6-man tag. Mickey James or Natalia could have ate the pin.
Right.
And it would have been
Yeah.
nothing. And Natalia
Yeah.
got pinned. Okay, great. Well, then have the person. I understand you want to make it seem like, okay, we're gonna push Naomi, which I really like Naomi.
Yeah, yeah, she's underrated.
But you don't make her beat
The
Alexa
champion.
Bliss. Make Alexa Bliss like try to make the save, and then she like kick her in the face and knock her out of the ring, and then pin Natalia. You know what I mean? Like make her get the one up on the champion,
Right.
but not beat her, or do
Exactly.
something slick to where you, especially when you have like Becky Lynch in there. I love Becky Lynch. I think she's great. Nikki Bella, I don't care for at all. I
No.
was never into the Bella twins. When I started watching wrestling, I was like, you were what epitomizes divas to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the
You're gonna have to move him. There's nowhere it's gonna
from
hear
the
you.
they're the blast from the past now.
That's
From,
true.
Like,
They're from the
when it was
diva,
the diva
era.
era,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I will agree. I will
But-
say that Nikki has improved within the last couple of years.
Yeah,
Definitely.
but
She had to.
I was trying to convince Caitlin to watch wrestling.
Right.
So I was like, okay, women's wrestling is great. I'll show her women's wrestling. And I was like, it's not about sex appeal or none of that bullshit anymore. Guess who the first person to come out? Nikki Bella. And
the
she comes
short
in short
shorts, yeah.
shorts. And she comes and she wiggles her ass and
Oh,
spins
yeah.
in a circle. And I'm like, thank you for fucking setting it back another 10 years.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we get it. At least Naomi, like, she dances, but her entrance is awesome.
It is pretty good. I can't wait to see that at WrestleMania.
Yeah, dude. You know what? I want to see her slide all the way down the entrance ramp. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next match, another tag match, which are the tag titles.
With two referees.
Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Bullet Club, versus Cesaro and Sheamus, the WWE Raw Tag Champions.
Yes.
Right. It had two referees because
Shenanigans.
and
Did not see the match. I heard what happened, which I'm
it was
glad
a good
for.
match. It was a really good match.
Gallows and Anderson are long overdue for the titles.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really strong match. I don't think it was good as the match in what was the one the previous month? When they beat the New Day, Cesaro and
Roadblock?
yeah, that
Yeah, that
match was incredible. That's one of the best tag matches I've ever seen because it flowed.
Yeah.
Because to me, Cesaro is he's probably my favorite wrestler. He's a big man. He's as big as Sheamus, but he can move he's like a giant Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, or Neville.
Yeah,
He was my favorite for a long time. He slipped now a little bit, but he's still in like my top 3 in WWE. He's probably the most talented guy on the roster for the most part.
Yeah, and him and Sheamus's entrance is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I really didn't like that pairing at first, but it really has grown on me. They've kind of gelled as a team.
Right.
I kind of like them as a team now.
Yeah, I like the tag team with Cesaro and Sheamus. I just hated how we got there to begin with.
This best of 7.
And then the 7, nobody won. They're like, Mick's like, all right, you're a tag team.
Yeah, and then 6 months later, we're gonna make a UK title. So fuck you.
Fuck never.
Yeah,
But
and
them
I
being-
really hope they push Cesaro a little bit more now that they've took the titles off of him.
I
He
really
more
like
than
him, though.
deserves it.
It seems like they're going back to square one. Like they're bickering and are they
I-
gonna have one another match at WrestleMania? What's
They're
going
gonna,
on?
they're gonna have,
Yeah.
they're
You're
gonna have,
the 7th.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna have number 8,
So
the
they're back to
tiebreaker.
square one basically.
Yeah, but see, I like them as a tag team because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. When you heard them being a tag team, you're like, oh, that's kind of a ripoff. But then they gel so
Well,
well.
it's like Orton
Yeah,
and Bray
they
Wyatt.
really
That's
did.
stupid, but it works.
Orton, Bray Wyatt, right? Because it gives Orton character.
Well, I like Orton. We'll get to him later.
No, we won't. Yeah, we're gonna get to Orton in a
And-
little bit.
And I thought it worked really well with Daniel Bryan and Kane.
Exactly.
It was
yeah,
Team
all
Hell
like
No.
the Misfits tag teams. Like
Team
Kane
Hell
and
Knows,
X-Pac.
one of my favorite teams, like one of those mismatched teams ever. That team was
Yep.
fantastic.
Yep.
Pretty much a lot
It
of
made
Kane's
Kane
tag
more
teams are weird.
interesting, for one thing.
X-Pac taught him how to talk.
Yeah, Kane
Yeah.
and X-Pac.
Yeah.
You know, Kane and RVD.
Right.
Kane and the Hurricane.
And so,
Yeah.
so Gallows and
Kane.
Anderson do defeat Sheamus and Cesaro for the tag titles.
I'm calling it now. They're gonna hold it to WrestleMania and they're gonna drop it to End Zone Cast.
A contractually obligated championship for Gallows and Anderson
Right.
to get them to WWE, and I think they totally deserve it. I'm a big Gallows and Anderson fan.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think they should have been the ones that beat the New Day.
Yes.
I do.
They should have. Within like their first month or so.
They
when
should have
debuted,
beat
they
the
should
New
have
Day.
won.
They shouldn't have.
Yeah,
The whole
It took them way too long to give
Yeah.
them the belt.
right. They were so focused on them getting that stupid fucking.
Which doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, we're the longest reigning tag champs of all time. Who cares?
Whatever.
Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
People were tired of you 100 days ago, and now they're remembering. You are literally reminding people how many days they've been tired of you.
Now the question is, where does the New Day go from here?
Where do they?
What do they do?
Who?
The
New
New
Day?
Day.
I don't care. Nothing. I don't. I'm not a New Day
See, I
fan.
like the New Day.
I like Kofi. I'm how like the Big Show feels about it because
Really?
the Big Show did an interview where he told the first time he met Biggie and Xavier, he was with Kofi and he was hearing about the New Day and they're about to go out. And the Big Show was like, hey, in front of all of them, he's like, hey man, you need to drop these two because they're dead weight. This gimmick's gonna kill you and blah blah blah.
It's really helped all of them now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
I mean,
but then the Big Show went on to say that he couldn't have been more wrong.
yeah, he was wrong. Right.
That's true.
No, I think that they took lemons and made lemonade out of
Absolutely.
it. They did a great job with a really bad gimmick when
Right.
they throw it. They took it and said, okay, screw this. We're gonna do, the best we can. I mean, that was like, I think Dusty Rhodes even said at one time he wasn't the one that came up with the polka dot stuff, but he's like, hey, I'm gonna own this, and
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
there you go.
Right.
Taking,
And that
Yeah,
was the
oh,
whole
no.
thing I think with Vince was just like, he never really liked Dusty because Dusty was one of his biggest competitors and a thorn in his side when he came to WWE. He's like, okay, I'm going to show you a little bit. And then Dusty just owned it.
oh yeah,
He did a great job.
yeah. It's the same thing with like any of like Cody Rhodes' gimmicks, whether it be dashing, disfigured, a mustache, Stardust.
Yeah.
That dude can take chicken shit and turn it into chicken salad.
Yeah, and they did the same thing with Dustin. I believe that was not his choice of a gimmick, but he owned it. Dusty
Yeah.
did that gimmick either. He's like, what are you doing to my son? And then he's like, oh, well, hey, he's owning it.
He's making it work, and he did.
Yeah, he
the
made it
best.
work.
Right.
But
So what do we have next?
It's his best gimmick that has worked.
yeah.
Right.
Think of all his other gimmicks. None of them work. Even Dustin Rhodes doesn't work.
Dustin Rhodes didn't work.
Yeah.
He can do it.
Remember, he was 7. He was
He was
7, and then he
himself
came
for that
out.
day.
He was 7 until he came out, and he's like, "This is goddamn stupid.
I hate this.
This is stupid." My dad's a big fat guy in polka dots that swings his knees, and he had that. And he had remember he had the what was her name? He had the black
Sapphire.
woman manager. Yeah, the manager. Yep. That was the first wrestler death that I remember as
Sapphire?
yeah, that was when I first started paying when when you started paying attention, when you notice stuff like that, you're like, I think she was the first one I really remember. I'm like, oh, she's dead. Well, like, other than like Andre, but you know what I mean? Because
Mine was actually Benoit.
really,
Yeah.
that's
I
crazy.
actually like paid attention to it. I was
Oh
like,
right, because we forgot to mention Troy is a child.
Yeah.
He was
well,
born in like 1999 or
Two.
something. So the next match I did not see, but from what I heard and from seeing what the length of the match,
It was
Nia Jax and Sasha Banks.
I heard it was a
I
complete
don't
one-sided
want to
match.
It was
about
squash
this
match. From what I heard,
I-
it was the same thing on Raw.
I was disgusted. You don't have to build. I know they're trying to build Nia as a monster and all
Right.
that, but don't do it against somebody like Sasha. I mean, that that just was. I know Sasha was supposed to be hurt, and it made her easy pickings for Nia, but that you don't need to do that on Sasha Banks. She's too good for a squash match.
See, the only thing I think it adds a little legitimacy to is because she's a two-time women's champion and she's just beating the shit out of
Exactly.
her. You know what I mean? Like, you're right. It does kind of diminish. She could have been doing that to like somebody. What's her
Well,
name?
she
The
did it
girl
to
that's not
Alicia
on
Fox
TV
already.
anymore. What happened to the? What's her name? She's just
Emma?
gone. No, the blonde that was with Charlotte.
Dana Brooke.
She's just gone. What
Dana
happened?
Brooke.
Did Dave Brooke die?
She's ugly.
But what happened to her?
She got too ugly.
She got ugly. They're like, you're useless. But there's nobody. I
we
just
still
noticed
have
that.
standards. We're WWE.
Yeah.
But I just noticed
Yeah.
that. I'm like, wait a minute. Dana Brooke just fell off the after Survivor Series. She just kind of fell off the planet.
Well, you noticed it. Nobody
Yeah.
else has yet.
I don't think any. Oh god, I'm gonna disappear now. They're gonna disappear me.
Yeah.
You just now noticed it.
Yeah.
See?
But-
She's being busy at Survivor Series. You just now noticed.
Yeah. Damn it. She was all right. I liked her.
She was whatever.
Remember, she got that tiny pop when she was going after Charlotte, which they never went after.
She
They're
was
like,
much better when she teamed up with Emma.
Yeah. But
And,
okay,
and
so
Emma is somebody that I miss, and
I agree
I'm
with
definitely looking for. I don't know about
she's
the
Emmalina
Emmalina
now,
gimmick
right?
that they're doing, but I liked Evil Emma. I liked that.
Oh yeah,
gimmick
with
with
the little
her.
half gloves.
Yeah, I liked that gimmick with her, and Emma to me is hot.
Yeah.
She's my Becky Lynch is my favorite wrestler, but Emma is just hot, and she's a great wrestler.
That's true.
all right, we recorded that, so I'm gonna play that for your old lady later. But his old lady is a very who does she like? Who's her favorite wrestler?
Mine?
Yes.
She's a Randy Orton fan.
Had a girl.
Yeah.
Good
She,
choice.
She was probably very happy on Sunday.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's an Orton fan.
At
She
least
talks-
one person was happy
I
on
was
Sunday.
happy.
No, genuine happy. You
We'll
were
get-
happy
we'll get
because
to
you're a
that.
dick.
Well, that too.
Okay, so the first match that I actually saw
Me too.
on Royal Rumble was this next match, Charlotte Flair versus Bayley.
Which was I thought was really good. Once the second half of the
I
match.
don't know. I couldn't.
I thought it was a solid match.
Yeah.
But I felt like
It was underwhelming.
Charlotte and
Yeah.
The ending was cool.
I feel like Charlotte and all of Charlotte and Sasha's matches have been way more over the top and way more.
They've all been like 4-star matches.
Yeah,
They've been
yeah,
almost
just
perfect.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
Yeah,
matches.
they've had much better matches. It was nowhere compared to some of the things that they've done in the past against each other, especially like when they were in NXT.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I like the finish, the natural selection on the apron,
that was
but
cool.
but the match was just a blah to me.
It was just
compared-
kind of average.
It
Yeah,
was-
there
it
was
was
nothing
like
very
going
exciting
solid
about it.
match.
But it was a Royal,
solid.
yeah, but it was not a Royal Rumble match. That's a match they could have had that
Yeah.
match on Raw.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them have better matches on Raw.
they're probably setting
Yeah.
up for an eventual rematch at WrestleMania.
Look at the matches that Sasha and Charlotte had on Raw.
right.
I mean, they
Yeah, it just
killed
wasn't a
each other.
championship caliber match. That was my thing.
Yeah, she's doing corkscrew moonsaults on
Yeah.
Raw.
Yeah, yeah. Doing bank statements through
Yeah.
the guardrail.
And here at the Rumble, where they're supposed to have their A game, and they just kind
Yeah,
of
she
brought
wants
like
that
their
water.
C
She's
game.
like, she's like,
Yeah, it
"Give
was,
me
just,
that
it was
water."
just kind of a standard match. I don't think it was the right choice to kick off the show with.
No. Especially because the last match that was before that was a women's squash match.
But again, if you look at the other matches on the card, there's really no other matches that could have started the show on a high note.
And I was disappointed because the two matches I had
Definitely.
circled as the best matches of the night that I thought would be the match of the night was Charlotte versus Bayley
Right.
and AJ versus Cena.
Right.
And that match just disappointed me.
The Charlotte and Bayley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should have been much better.
I agree. Well, I don't think Bayley should have won. I think they should hold off her win to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But I do
I
think it
just-
should have been a little more grandiose.
It just seemed like they were off. Like there was a couple of like kind of botched spots. There
Yeah.
was Bayley seemed like she was out of her game a little bit. She looked almost timid in a few spots. Like she was unsure.
She's got the
of herself.
mumps.
I don't know what was going on.
I think
Yeah.
she's still trying to find her foot on the main roster.
Well, see, the thing, yeah, because they literally just haven't been giving her much, and then they push her into fucking a title match at the Royal
By beating
Rumble.
the non-title, by being the champion on a non-title match.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, it's not like she's had a lot of marquee matches. Like, she's
At
literally.
least on the main roster.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Right.
Yeah, but NXT and stuff, that doesn't compare to the.
Exactly.
You're in one of the big four.
So
Probably
Bayley-
number 2 of the big 4.
So
Yes.
Bailey doesn't get to beat her on Raw and then lose the title back to her.
No,
No.
only Sasha gets.
Only
to do that.
Sasha
And
can
that's
do that.
stupid that they did that to begin. I
Twice.
hated that. I hated that they did that.
Yeah,
Um,
Charlotte's going to be like 16-time women's champion like next month.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's my favorite women's wrestler. Was
Charlotte?
when I started watching it, it was Becky Lynch, and then but Charlotte's just so she's the only true heel, the only pure
Yeah,
true
she
heel.
I don't know,
wrestler.
The Miz.
She's a
No,
fantastic
well, the Miz
character.
is,
The Miz,
I
too.
guess.
Everybody
Yeah.
hates The Miz.
Well, I hate the Miz
I love
because
The
he's
Miz,
not
but-
good. I don't hate the Miz because he's a bad guy. I'm like, you're just shit.
Well, he's safe.
He's so boring. He's like everybody. He's like everybody else. Like we were talking about before. There's no superstars in wrestling anymore. That's why Goldberg
Which
and
is
Brock
a topic
Lesnar
we'll
and
get to.
Undertaker and all those people
Shane
are
McMahon.
right. Are all the big names. And AJ Styles is in the back row of the Royal Rumble poster.
Because he's a good wrestler.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So what I think was the match of the night
It was really good. It's surprisingly better than I thought of it.
was Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns with Jericho suspended in a shark cage above the ring, which
And
is fucking
no
stupid.
disqualification.
And it's no DQ for the
Which is
Universal
stupid.
title.
The
But
sexy
I don't
pinata
have high
is still
hopes for this
kicked.
match because I saw those two face each other like 8 times in the last like month.
See, I've been pretty good because I only watch so much Raw and
Right.
SmackDown, so I don't really, it doesn't oversaturate. If I find out the stories, I'll see it if I really want to.
Yeah. Well, you watch it on like Hulu, you still see it. It's like, okay.
Right. So you can kind of just skip most of that. But
It
the
was
match
Raw,
was
Raw wouldn't have
awesome.
It
much
was.
without Jericho right now.
Right.
He's carrying the show.
Right.
Absolutely.
Jericho is the best thing on Raw.
Yeah. Now, I will say this match was really good, but I think it got a little too, much like the Cena AJ Styles match later on, it kicked out a little too much of high impact moves.
Right.
Like Roman Reigns was kicking out of a Superman punch with brass knuckles,
That was
a
awesome.
pop-up power bomb on the apron.
I think which is stupid because he immediately picks him up and throws him. Like if you do a pop-up power bomb into the apron,
You're
don't
dead.
just pick the guy up
You're
and throw
dead.
him into the ring. He should just be a limp, dead person.
Or the Superman punch with the brass knuckles was cool.
I thought it
He
was.
shouldn't have kicked out of it though.
I think
That's what I said. I was like,
no.
you just kicked out of your own finisher
With
with
brass
brass knuckles.
knuckles.
Yeah, but it wasn't from
That should-
him though.
You should be like, there's no way I'm getting
You're
up
done,
with that.
but it's
I'm
not
never
you-
gonna get up with my
But
own
it's him.
finish.
It's Roman Reigns doing it. It wasn't. It
If
wouldn't
I
be like.
super stroked you into the stairs.
But
You're
if
not
I
getting
did it to you,
I would have never.
If
You
I
would
did,
not get up.
but if
and
I
if
did,
you did it to me, I would.
no, you should get up because
I
I'm not
would
doing
not
it.
get up.
It's totally different. It's like KO is not as big a guy as Roman Reigns, and it's his finisher. It's like saying if James Ellsworth did a Superman punch with brass
Well,
knuckles,
that's
you're out.
different.
You're out.
I want to see James Ellsworth do a Superman punch now that you said that.
Yes, I love his super kick. His left-footed super kick.
Whatever.
He does a left-footed super kick. It's
But I
amazing.
thought the match was really good. It was
It
very much
was.
like akin back to like the Attitude Era when they were fighting all around the arena and stuff.
It did get kind of gimmicky though with the
Little
tape,
bit.
with the chairs stacking. Like when they stack
It's a
stuff
little
like that,
much.
I hate that. That's just it's like, what's the
Especially
fucking
when
point?
when it's one of those things like that where you gotta put it
It's very
together,
contrived.
and then you have to like walk over, punch the guy in the head a few times,
set up a little more.
walk back over, set up some more chairs.
I will say the ending surprised me. I did not expect Strowman to come out and interject.
Dude, that gif of him riding on that cart is amazing. He just comes flying up the ramp. Yeah, him coming out was really unexpected. I didn't really like it at first because I thought it was kind of a cop out. It's just like,
Maybe
hey,
think
let's just
back-
have him do it just because.
But then you think back why he did it. I think it
And then
makes
you
sense.
watch Raw, right, and they explain it makes total sense.
Yeah, because he got speared last week by Roman Reigns and Goldberg, so he's like he's gonna interfere.
Well, see that part I didn't really care about. It's just when they explain on Raw that Kevin Owens is like, "Hey, I'll give you a title shot
Yeah.
if I beat Reigns,"
And
and
he
he's
did.
like, "Well, yeah, okay, cool."
And Braun Strowman used that. He used his intelligence,
Which
which
is
is dangerous
weird.
for a big man.
So Kevin Owens ends up going over.
It was a really good match.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. Anything, Paul, for that?
For that one?
It's a good match. Next match, pretty much Royal Rumble in a nutshell. Neville and Rich Swann.
It was a great match that nobody cared about.
It was a match that when the internet kept crashing, I literally skipped to the end to see what the finish was because I just didn't want to keep messing with it. So I was like, okay. I love Rich Swann. He was my favorite person.
I love Neville now.
Rich Swann was my favorite person in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Mine was Akira Tozawa.
Right, which
So.
is amazing.
Right.
I do seem to care more now about Neville now that he's a heel.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because he's evil. I'm evil Neville.
Yeah.
That's what I kept
Yes.
saying on Royal Rumble. I'm evil Neville.
Well, I just wasn't a big fan of how his gimmick was when he first came to WWE. You know, I didn't like the cape and everything. I just thought it was weird
Like a superhero.
for
kind
him.
of.
Yeah, I just didn't. I like his current character now
And I
more.
like that he has 3 different ways of putting his opponent down, whether it's the Red Arrow, the top rope superplex, or the Rings of Saturn.
Hmm.
And they're all effective.
Yep, and always good to see the Rings of Saturn.
Yeah, that's great. But this match was really good. But even like me, who I watched 205 live, I've seen the Cruiserweight Classic. I didn't even care about this match. Which was
Really?
sad.
And you watch 205 Live. I
Yeah.
don't really pay attention to that, really. I see stuff on Raw when they talk about it.
205 live is pretty good. But I didn't really care about this match. I was just kind of like going through Twitter, which is unfortunate because I should have cared. But
Right.
I'm glad Neville won. I hope he holds it forever. That's pretty much all I can say about the match.
Yeah, it was a match.
Yeah.
So next match we're gonna go to is John Cena versus the World Champion or the WWE Champion.
WWE champion.
I don't know if you know that if you saw the poster
The face that runs the place. In
Right.
the back
In the
of
very
poster.
in the very back.
in the very back.
Yes.
So AJ Styles and John Cena for the WWE Championship. This match I don't think could live up to
This match to me was the 3rd best out of their trilogy.
Yeah, it could. Well,
Like most of them.
yeah, because that
Yes.
first right.
Yes.
Because that first match they had was a great match because it was pretty much just an AJ Styles clinic. He's
Which
just
is-
like, I'm gonna make you look like a bitch.
And
the
that was my
whole
favorite match out of the
Mm.
3 because it's psychologically driven and character driven. It's slower paced. It's AJ Styles out wrestling John Cena and showing off that he can.
See, I really like that third one though. No, the second one. The second one was
SummerSlam match?
just so
Second one
good.
was amazing.
Second one was so smooth. This one, like you said in the Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens thing, it was very. It was just like, hey, how
Mhm.
quickly can we hit our finishers?
Exactly.
And then
Which is kind of what SummerSlam was to me too. Like
And then-
within 10 minutes they're hitting AA style.
I don't know, but it was so exciting. You know what I mean? Because you just got a taste in the first match, and then you're like, man, we can really see this match. And it was all the hype, and then
Yeah.
SummerSlam was just a good show.
Well,
Except for the main event, which is kind of shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
this
I
match
did
was-
not like the end. The whole just two finisher, boom.
I did like how John Cena beat him. He hit the AA, rolled through and hit another AA. That was really cool.
Yeah,
that's how
I
he
really
rolled
liked
and stood
that.
back up
Yeah.
with him, but
Yeah.
But he should have beat him with
but
the
it was
top
just
rope
the
one.
same one
He
twice.
kicked out of. He should have done like a different. Or the second one he should have done. They should have. I don't know. They should have had something where he like just fucking threw him out of the ring. I mean, just do it
Yeah.
to the outside. Because you do it off the top rope and he kicks out. What's
It's
two?
too much. Yeah. I still say if the rumors are true that Cena's going to lose the Elimination Chamber, why even win it at the Royal Rumble?
That's true.
Why not keep AJ for champ another 2 weeks? There's no point.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think he's going to lose it at Elimination Chamber.
Which is pointless. It's just to
So
get
I
the
don't know
16
why
time
they made
thing.
him win it this time, just to give him that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Why
right.
not wait?
It's
Do it
just
at
like
WrestleMania or something.
he's a transitional champion, and I would have much rather seen AJ Styles in the Elimination Chamber without John Cena, and have Bray Wyatt beat him. Why couldn't you still have Bray Wyatt beat AJ Styles?
Because I don't want Bray Wyatt winning the Elimination Chamber.
Which he's gonna.
I
He's
know.
going to.
I know.
But
Yeah.
but I would. People wouldn't be as They would still think it's awesome because he beats AJ Styles,
Right.
which is cool to begin with to watch Bray Wyatt fight AJ Styles.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
having John Cena in there, it's just like, okay, you'll probably be in the beginning,
Probably
you'll
be
probably
at
be
the
the
end.
last one in there because whoop-de-fucking-do, John Cena, never give up, and I just
and you're the champ.
And
yeah,
he's
I
the champ.
just I don't know.
All right. So after that, we had the Royal Rumble match itself.
Okay, so
The first entrant was
I'm gonna look through the entrance
Big-
just so we
Big
can
Cass,
Big
which
Cass.
took forever
Yep,
with their promo with Enzo.
which drives me crazy because that's when we were talking about earlier. I think that stuff's just kind of getting old. Enzo and Cass are great, but their talking shtick is kind of running dry.
And I've said this before to friends and stuff. I think Big Cass is going to be a future champion. The reason I say that is
Yes.
because he's everything that Vince wants in a champion.
Yep.
He's good looking. He's
Like
big.
sweat
He's got
man.
charisma. He's a champion at some point.
See,
Oh, yeah.
but what? I don't think he's a world champion.
I think, yeah.
I only think he's a world champion because Vince McMahon's going to want him to be. I
Exactly.
don't
Right.
think he's world champion material. He's
And I don't think they're
he's
making
Diesel.
the same.
You could say the same thing about Braun Strowman a year ago.
Nah, but Big Cass is not getting any better. Braun Strowman's better tenfold in 6 months. The last 6
Strowman
months,
is really good.
Yes,
he should be a world champion. If Big Cass won, I think Big Cass could win the U.S. title and then bring more legitimacy to it.
And then work his way up to
I
the
agree with
Universal
that.
title.
No, I don't think he should ever be the world champion or the Universal champion. I think he should just be a mid-card champion because he can make it. Because you don't see big guys holding like mid-card titles. You know what I mean? So I think it'd be cool to just watch him dominate the U.S. Like do another U.S. Open challenge.
Yeah.
And just because it's Big Cass too, which is like, oh, okay, you're gonna go in there because you're doing an open challenge with a guy that's 7 feet tall.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Right. So, what's wrong with you? So then you can get like crazy people could
That's
come
true.
out. Dean Ambrose will come out, even though he's on SmackDown, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
You're
He's
the
like,
wrong
"I'm
show."
the lunatic fringe.
Yeah.
See, that would make me like Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. We'll talk about Dean Ambrose,
Okay, so number 2 is Chris Jericho,
which was a lot of people's favorite to win it.
by far the best thing in WWE.
Yes.
Yep.
I thought since Chris Jericho entered number 2, I thought he was going to win it. My original pick was The Undertaker.
Mine was actually Chris Jericho, or if they let it happen, which I'm not going to say if they did or did not, was Finn Balor.
Right.
Yeah.
Which would have been. It
What
would have
about
been cool.
you? Who'd you pick, Paul?
Well, I was on the Chris Jericho train,
Okay.
especially when I found out he was number 2, because what we had originally heard was not that he was going to be number 2.
Yeah.
And when he came out as 2, it was like, oh,
Yeah, I thought he would have been like third.
I'm really
Right.
thinking he's going to win at this point
Right.
now.
Right, but
What
two,
about-
he really set the Iron Man because he was in it for over an hour.
Right.
I mean, yeah, the first half he kind of spent outside because he got knocked out.
Yeah, he
he
kept
appears
just kinda-
for so long.
Yeah, you forget he's in there for.
But I like that because he was smart.
Yeah.
Jamie, who did you
He's a
have?
smart villain.
I actually wanted Wyatt to win it, but I didn't think he was going to.
Right. Well, you're
I
close.
thought that they might have
Right, Wyatt.
actually done one of the special entrants, but they didn't do that
Right.
either. That was actually very disappointing. That build was crap. They
Yeah.
did so much hype, and then the special guests like Goldberg, Lesnar, Undertaker, they were just like, oh hey, they're here and bye.
Yeah, they literally the last 5 entrants pissed me off.
See, I was okay with that.
The last 5?
Yeah. All of them.
All of them.
All of them. I'll tell
Okay,
you why.
let me just go to number 27.
-1.
Number 27 was Enzo fucking Amore,
Right.
who lasted 18 seconds.
Got decapitated by Brock Lesnar.
And one thing that they don't talk about, Jericho did a fantastic job. But look at number 8. Sami Zayn lasted 47 minutes.
Yeah, he got hit with the skull-crushing finale, a big swing, a chokeslam from The Undertaker, a spear from Goldberg, a jackhammer from Goldberg.
Yep.
He got hit with everything.
Yep.
And they still
Yep.
lasted. He was one of the final, 6 or something
Yeah,
like that.
he was in there for a while.
Yeah. So you had Chris Jericho come in, then you had Kalisto, which is just kind of
Whatever.
he's another throwaway. Mojo
Mojo
Rawley,
Rawley,
I don't
same
really
thing.
care about.
He had
Look
Jack
at all the
Gallagher.
Raw. The
Yeah.
first 10 people, all of them are
Minus
Raw
2.
except for 3. Because number
Yeah.
10, Ty Dillinger, was fantastic. That was the
That-
only fan service that they gave.
Which is I'm
It's-
okay with. Because I don't
It was
I don't
totally
like,
predictable, but it was great.
Right. I don't like legends in the Rumble. Like one-time legends like The Godfather.
I
or
do.
DDP.
I love when Diesel came out.
That's
I
like
love
part-
when
that's
Booker
all
T
part of
comes
that
out.
show for us.
like it's
That's
cool.
that's
it's nostalgia, but for one, it takes off a spot from a full-timer who could win it.
Yeah, like
2, they never
Mojo
last
Rawley.
that long.
Right.
3, you know they're not going to win it.
Right.
They're
But
going to
still.
show up, hit their finisher, and they're going to
But
Yeah.
it's fun to
The-
see him
but
again.
it's-
fun.
But they
The
gave you
only-
they gave
The
you-
only legend I think did a good job that I remember was DDP. They let him stay in there for
He hit
quite a
like
while.
5 diamond cutters, which was
Right.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, he stayed in there quite
but
a
the
while.
Big
when he
Show,
came
see
in.
the Big Show, I like that they came in because they kind of gave him a little bit of a nudge on Raw the
Well,
week
yeah, no, I'm
before.
saying like legends we haven't seen in a while, like Tatanka came out or something.
Oh, well, that's shit.
You know,
But if
Mhm.
Shawn Michaels come out, I wouldn't be like, oh, boo,
because like theoretically, I mean, he could win it because he won it before.
because he's Shawn Michaels.
Right, but if he's someone like Sergeant Slaughter, or
Oh,
like,
I would be
you're
pissed.
like, why
yeah.
is he here?
Yeah, I'd be like, I want no way, Jose.
Yeah, exactly. You want
I
someone
would-
who
or-
I don't
could
want
win
no-
it, even though
Doink the
Mojo
clown
Rawley.
when you
Doink, yeah. One of my favorite entrants was Jack Gallagher.
Yes,
When he came out with the
That was a
umbrella
surprise.
and he's
I
doing
did not
his
expect to see
headbutts.
I think that
Oh my
shows.
God.
I think that shows a lot of faith in Gallagher because if you look at the 30 entrants, he's the only cruiserweight in the match. The only one, not even the champions in it.
I like Gallagher
Yeah,
still.
he's great.
really
Yeah,
good.
he's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
I want to see
And
Gallagher
he's the
versus
only
Neville.
person living that's whiter than Sheamus.
Yeah.
that's true. They should be a tag team.
Oh God.
That'd be awesome.
I always say Gallagher is the third founding member of the Vaudevillains.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he should be the original one.
Yeah.
Because he does it better than both of them.
He should turn him into a gentleman.
So you had Ty Dillinger, and then you had James Ellsworth come out and took the sickest choke slam I've ever seen.
Yes.
When he got thrown out of the ring with Braun Strowman, I was like, well, he's dead.
I hated when I heard James Ellsworth's theme. I was like, no. But I loved how he got eliminated. I loved the fact that Dean Ambrose came out after him and kind of persuaded him to go in the ring.
Yeah.
And all immediately just destroyed by Strowman, who Ellsworth has history with.
He killed him.
I thought it all fit perfectly.
He killed him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. Like you said, Dean Ambrose came out, lasted for almost 30 minutes. Baron Corbin, which was a huge surprise that he lasted for a long time.
And he was the one who eliminated Strowman by himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Which was impressive. It's like Corbin. You expect like 8 people to eliminate Strowman.
I liked that. It made it look Corbin strong, but the thing with it though that kind of disappoints me is they can't, because they use the Rumble to start feuds a lot of times.
Right.
And that would have been an awesome feud. I would love to see Corbin going against Strowman, but they're on different shows, and that's not going to happen. That would have been an awesome thing, and I was happy to see Strowman get eliminated by Corbin. I was like, wow, that's great for Corbin. But then I was like, well, they can't really capitalize on that now.
Which I kind of like when you like you set seeds for feuds of people on different brands, because like Strowman and Corbin, like we're not going to see that anytime soon. But us as fans, we want that.
Well, see,
So eventually, if they get on the same brands, it's like, oh, we can finally see that match.
Well, see, and another thing I think is good too. It's not just the fact that say we nix the whole feud.
Right.
It doesn't. There's no feud that comes from it. The good thing is that Baron Corbin on SmackDown looks like $1 million.
Exactly.
Because he could go into like he's doing with now a program with the Miz. They have the stuff.
Elimination Chamber.
Right. They're doing the Elimination Chamber, so he's getting a title shot. You know what I mean? So
he eliminated Strowman.
Yeah. So he beat another guy that he'll never face, possibly.
So neither one of them have to look weak.
But it's not like he went on SmackDown and lost to fucking Kalisto.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He went out on SmackDown, beat the fuck out of everybody.
At the end.
At the end of SmackDown, that's the one thing I did watch. He beat everybody's ass on SmackDown. So we had Baron Corbin, Kofi Kingston.
Defying the laws of physics again,
right?
Elimination.
Another one. Jesus, The Undertaker eliminated quite a few people.
Oh, yeah.
The thing I did like about Braun Strowman, if we're going to go back to that real quick.
Everything?
He fucking murdered everybody when he came into that ring.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead.
It took like the whole time he was in the ring, everybody focused on him no matter what.
Yeah.
Which was great.
He eliminated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
and that
6,
was
7.
One thing with Strowman, it was a
7
disappointment was with they had been hyping up him facing Big Show, and that was over like quick. They had been saying Big Show is trimmed down, which he looks great, by the way. He's in fantastic shape right now. Especially if you look at him like a year ago, he's in amazing shape right now, and they're building up that, and that was over quick.
Which was I thought was good because it showed just how dominant Strowman is. He just eliminated him in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, all right, whatever, no big deal.
So we had the Miz, with Sheamus, Big E, Rusev, Cesaro, which I like their little. Rusev stayed in that fucking thing 22 minutes.
Handsome Rusev.
Handsome Rusev with a broken nose.
Yes.
And then I like the little thing they had with Sheamus and Cesaro when he tried to do the big swing to him.
Oh yeah.
And then
kind of hesitated.
Right, and then he tried, and then Sheamus tried to eliminate him. I thought that was great.
One of my favorite moments in the Rumble. It was just a tiny moment and it lasted for like 30 seconds. It was once Bray Wyatt entered the ring, him and Xavier had a little face off, which harkened back to the New Day Wyatt family feud from like a year ago. I was like,
I did not notice that.
Nice little touch.
I didn't notice that.
They kind of feuded.
Yeah,
Xavier kind
that
of
was a nice callback to that feud.
Like, it was good.
Right. So you had Bray Wyatt, Apollo Crews, Randy Orton came out at number 23, Dolph Ziggler, which is kind of
Didn't last
Dolph
too long.
Ziggler. Luke Harper at 25, I thought was kind of surprised because Luke Harper, I think, is like he's good.
Super underrated.
He's really underrated.
He's really good.
Yes.
And I think that they're starting to notice it because he's a big man like Sheamus and Cesaro,
He can
especially.
go.
But he can fucking go. Yeah.
And I've talked to Jason about this before about the Wyatts, like when they had the stable. Is I thought Luke was the strongest one in the entire stable.
Oh yeah, no,
I
I
mean,
agree.
I'm a Wyatt fan. Believe me, I love his character. But as far as skill, Luke Harper is amazing. He's a big man. He's fast. He's strong. He's actually good on a mic when they let him talk. And he's great to me. He's a really talented big man. He's in that Kane in his prime, Undertaker in his prime. He's in that kind of physicality. And I'm a big Harper fan.
Yeah, I hope they once this whole thing with like Harper turning on the Wyatt, or Wyatt turning on Harper. I don't know what's going on. I hope what comes of this is Harper becoming a single star, possibly a no nonsense babyface, or just kind of just smash mouthing his way through the competition.
Yeah, and that lariat he threw to Wyatt to was great too.
Was
I mean,
shocking.
I cheered.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah. It was
awesome.
one of those. It was one of the Rumble wasn't the best, but at least there was a lot of story, like lot of storylines progressed. You know
And
what
then
I
on
mean?
SmackDown, he teams
Yeah.
up with John Cena.
Which is insane.
I mean, come on.
Oh my God! So you had the
But it
last.
was weird in that because Harper was still kind of hesitant about fighting Wyatt at that point. But
Yeah.
I like the storytelling they're doing.
Right.
Yeah, it was a little weird. He was that hesitant, but at the Rumble, he just cold cocked him with a lariat.
Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obliterated.
Yeah,
turned him inside out.
exactly.
So you have your last 5, which
4 of them are future Hall of Famers.
5 of them are future Hall of Famers. You had Brock Lesnar, which was awesome.
Yes.
Enzo Amore, which
was his elimination was awesome.
right. Goldberg,
Yes.
The Undertaker, and then the big number 30, which everybody really wanted, was Roman Reigns.
When his music hit, I loved it. I knew why WWE did it because they were like, well, throw him out there, and whoever wins it, they'll cheer him instead of Roman.
Who sent me? Jamie, you sent me that GIF, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Roman Reigns music playing,
Right.
and then it's a sound bite of JR, and it's like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" It's perfect.
It's perfect.
And then there's this one video of it's all these people's reactions to it, and there's this guy, and he's just recording his face, and the music plays, and he looks, and he kind of
Yeah.
sighs, and then he looks down at the ground. He's in the crowd live, and he looks down at the ground, and he's so depressed. And
When his music
Hello?
hit, I wanted Roman Reigns to win just as like a devil's advocate, just so I could hear the crowd reaction.
oh, they would have nuts.
I would have loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think everybody was looking for either Finn Balor to come back
Samoa
or
Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, Samoa Joe, right? Which would have been awesome if either one of them came back. And then, not expecting them to win, I would have loved Finn Balor to win, which a lot of people I think would have loved that.
But I'm glad Samoa Joe wasn't in it, because if he was in it, he probably wouldn't have won it.
Right.
Because if you want to debut someone like Joe, he should win it.
Yeah.
And I do like, for people who are listening, they know already, but Samoa Joe showed up later,
Which
and
is
I
awesome.
actually like his debut.
Yeah. Me too, because especially because of somebody that I don't care for.
Well,
We'll
We'll get to that.
So Roman Reigns came out. The only reason Roman Reigns came out was for a pattern. He was the only one that you could eliminate at the end. That if it wasn't somebody you wanted to win, like Jericho, that he could go out last, and you'd be like, "Yay, Roman Reigns is out!" But then you're also like, "Oh, Randy Orton won the Rumble."
Well, I wouldn't say that was the only reason. I want to say that he also came out to ignite the feud with the Undertaker.
I'm telling you, it's the only reason. Oh yeah,
Right.
But he could have just come out and just. It just doesn't make sense that he would come out and do the Undertaker thing when the next night he comes out to interfere with Braun Strowman. Like Braun Strowman should have came out later, so he could have done that with. But I mean, I guess you don't get a chance to do it with the Undertaker because he's not going to be at Raw.
Exactly.
But still, I think it's stupid that you had. Then it's dumb that you even have Braun interfere in the Universal title match, because then why wouldn't Roman Reigns come out and fuck with him? He would just wait and be like, "Nah, I'll wait till number 30. Ha ha ha! I'll get the Undertaker." Like what?
I am curious if we're probably never gonna know. I'm curious how Roman Reigns got number 30. Like after he lost the Universal title match, and he go to like Steph and be like, "Let me in the Rumble.
Yeah.
I'll suck your dick."
Yeah. Hey Steph, whip that big dick out.
Yeah. I'm curious.
And,
I'm glad he was in it. He put on one hell of a show. And I'm actually excited for his match with Undertaker if it happens at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm just pissed that Randy Orton. And if you didn't know, Randy Orton won the Rumble, and it was what it is.
I'm excited for it. There's better options, obviously.
Yep, like almost 29 other.
I am
people.
glad that a full title won it. Not like a Brock Lesnar or Goldberg or Undertaker.
Yeah.
And it sets up Orton and Cena at WrestleMania, but nobody thinks the WWE is that stupid. I do not want to see Randy Orton, John Cena, 2,865.
Thank you.
I'm okay.
You know,
In 2017.
yeah, I don't
It's been
want to see
15
that
fucking
match.
years. I'm
That
sick
was
of it.
that was 10 years ago. That's gone. Put somebody else.
I know, and it
And
wasn't-
Like, and think about how many times did The Rock and Stone Cold wrestle each other?
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Like
those
three.
were classics.
Well,
They're
three,
all
yeah.
classics.
Three
those were
WrestleMania.
those are two of the
They
four like
they fought way more times than that.
But in like singles one
yeah, no,
Yeah.
but their marquee matches though were they didn't fight that many more times. They had like their
They were the
big
last
matches.
Survivor
though.
Series alliance
they really
match.
didn't fight that many times on big pay-per-views.
And the
They
thing
fought a
is-
lot on Raw and SmackDown
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
And the-
But they really didn't headline very many
But
events.
even if they did, you're talking about two of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
And you're not
And
talking about
matches
Randy
were
Orton and fucking John
fantastic.
Cena. You're talking
They were-
about Stone Cold. You're talking about Stone Cold, he's on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
It's true. Yeah, it's him, Hogan, Rock, and Andre.
Right. So then, so two of the four on Mount Rushmore can fight as many times as they want. Randy Orton, John Cena don't need to fight 14 years after they were relevant.
Well,
quote,
I'm okay
unquote.
with them fighting just because I
as
don't
long
want.
as it's not for the title.
Well, I don't care.
No title.
I don't want Bray to win the Chamber, so I don't want Bray's first title win to be a transitional one.
for Randy fucking Boo.
I don't
for the
think
part-time
he is.
full timer. That's what I think of Randy Orton.
I mean, if I was booking it, this is what I would do with that. Is that I think Wyatt should win the Rumble, or not the Rumble, the Elimination Chamber. So he's the champion, and he's still bringing Orton into the fold. He's still training him to be that, and this is just another test for Orton. He's like, you are facing me here. Prove yourself worthy to be in the family. I think Orton will give him a great match, but Wyatt will stay on top and still be the champion, because Wyatt, to me, totally deserves to be champion, at least for a while, because they've let him take loss after loss after loss. He was losing tons of feuds that he should have been winning. So he was playing their game. He was doing exactly what they told him to do. I think that it's time for him to cash in on his character now.
No, I
'Cause
mean,
he's
I
been able
totally
to
agree that
maintain
Wyatt
that
should win the
character.
title, but like I was talking to Jason
Yeah.
earlier, I think he should win it at SummerSlam. Have whoever, AJ Styles win the Chamber, John Cena, face Orton. Orton wins via Wyatt family shenanigans. And they keep like this two-man power trip thing going between Orton and Wyatt throughout the summer, spring and summer, until it's an eventual white-hot implosion. And then Wyatt claims the title for the first time at SummerSlam. Because right now, Wyatt's kind of like, on a scale of 1 to 10, he's like a 6. He's like lukewarm. He's popular, but he's not as popular as he once was.
Bray Wyatt?
Yes.
Yeah, if he
Right.
won the title last
But
year.
that's just because of bad booking.
Exactly.
Right.
So if you take the next few months after WrestleMania and build him like a champ, when he wins it, he will be treated like a champ. If you give him the
I don't
title
know,
now, he's kind of like,
I don't know. I think if you just wait too much longer, he's just going to keep.
well, it's like giving
cooling
the
and cooling
Cesaro
and
the Universal
cooling.
title now.
I would say the reason that he's just kind of like on a steady decline is because every match I see him, then he fucking loses.
Well, yeah.
Right, exactly.
But
But how is he gonna win?
Yeah, he's the new
championship? He
face of
always
fear
loses.
he's the new face of fear that nobody's afraid of.
He's like
They're
Man-
more afraid of
it's
Bray or Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
It's like Mankind.
Right
his
now,
first
rightfully
5
so,
years in-
because Strowman
in
is a monster.
WWF.
Which is a good example. Mankind never won hardly any matches.
Yeah,
His
but
three,
he was huge.
right, his 3 title
Yeah,
reigns.
but that's not Bray Wyatt.
Right, no, I'm saying his 3 WWE Championship reigns combined are 21 days.
Yeah, but Bray Wyatt's just not gonna get more popular unless he wins the title. I just don't think you're gonna
He
build
has
him
to-
up anymore because
He
you're
has
building
to
him in a
come up with
program.
with the Cactus Jack.
No, he just needs to win the title Elimination Chamber and just keep it as long as he beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania to cement it. Say if Randy Orton wants to turn against him and try to be like, oh, I won't listen to you, okay, well then fucking destroy him.
See, but
Because
that goes
Bray
back-
Wyatt is the weakest of the three Wyatts. Okay, so say Braun Strowman's a Wyatt.
Yeah, sure.
Luke Harper looks better than Bray Wyatt right now.
Right,
Yeah.
but I agree. This goes back to the thing we were saying that if he wins it now, that's going to be the title making the man, or it should be the man making the title.
Well, no, you
I
give it.
agree.
Yeah, but you give it to him to help him along
It
because
should be the other way around.
yeah, but see, it's not going to happen. He's not going to get more popular, especially when
No.
you're putting him with a guy like Randy Orton.
Well, then if that's
They
the case,
should-
then don't give
they
him
should have
the title.
given him
Exactly.
Bray.
No,
That's-
you give him the title because I think he could do what Kevin Owens was supposed to do. Because Kevin Owens is not a Universal Champion. He's not a World Champion.
Well,
a
he
shitty.
is just not with his booking.
No, he's awful. He's not when he comes out and talks. The only reason he is the champion is because Jericho's his best friend.
Right. I do wish Kevin Owens was booked more like he was during his NXT run. A prize fighter,
like a
unstoppable.
badass. Or like how he was when he joined and beat John Cena.
And yeah,
After he lost the IC title, he just became a bitch.
he became a guy.
Yeah. He had
Nothing
good matches,
special.
but he just
Yeah.
got his ass beat.
Yeah, Bray should have got the title well over a year ago when he was still more relevant and popular. I mean, I'm a big Wyatt fan, but it just seems like they're thrusting him like in the title picture really quickly without a good.
Yeah, I think that the only thing that sucked with Bray Wyatt is certain times when he was on the verge of like the highest popularity, he got injured.
Right.
Like last year after WrestleMania, he teamed with Roman Reigns, turning a face, immediately gets injured.
Right.
Comes
Mhm.
back lukewarm as a heel. So it's happened the last few times. He gets on the verge of it, he gets injured or something happens, and they gotta like pull him off the shelf. And I just hope he can stay healthy enough to become white hot again and win the title.
I don't know. I just think if you don't pull the trigger with Bray Wyatt now, you're never going to.
I think they still have, especially on SmackDown, where they're rebuilding careers like Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. You can rebuild them easily.
I don't know. I think if you just give him, giving him the title will be his way to rebuild.
And I've really liked the new Wyatt family with Orton. I didn't like it at first. I was like, really, you're going to put an Orton in the Wyatt family? But it works.
No, yeah, I agree. It's
Right.
the most interesting Orton's been in years.
Right.
Yeah.
Not interesting enough to win the goddamn Rumble though.
Hey,
God damn that Rumble! Oh my
Yeah, it's
god!
more
I
relevant
enjoyed the Rumble.
and more
I like.
interesting.
What did I say earlier? Randy Orton winning the Rumble is like Trump winning the election all over
It's
again.
not
You're
that
like, it's
bad.
never gonna
It's
happen.
not that bad.
It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Because I was listening to a podcast and they said, I heard this on like Thursday or Friday. It's like, yeah, the betting odds have changed to
Yeah.
where Randy Orton wasn't even in the top 10.
Now he's like,
He was number one.
Right.
He became number one in the Vegas betting odds. And they're like, we don't know what the fuck's going on. And I'm thinking, okay, well,
everybody gets the
it's
bookies.
predetermined though still, so it's, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But so is probably boxing. But it's, it's, I was like,
I've
nah, it's
never
not gonna
understood betting on wrestling events.
Yeah, it's weird.
happen. Yeah, unless you're Dave Meltzer, why would you do it?
Right, exactly. But I'm more the wait and see approach. Like I could fantasy book the next
You should.
2 years.
I know, but there's so many other people I should have won.
But I'm like, Randy Orton won it. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I guess I am. And on that note, we're gonna take a little break. I need food. So this has been the Royal Rumble, Squared Circle Podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Paul.
I'm Troy.
And Jamie.
Alrighty, we'll be back soon. Where's